My project is about a auto BIM information extraction and generalization. The purpose of it is to label the names automatically through a model, which means to extract information and classify them from a CSV file exported by Revit. The information should be extracted is location, sector, size, and the relation, ownership, and function. So this is the workflow for the system. There's a pre-production stage and a process stage. Let's get into it. DataMuse API is a word-finding engine based on the WordNet. It can be specified with a variety of constraints on meaning, spelling, sound, and vocabulary in different targets. Since this system will be used in architecture field, the first step is to identify the function words in the phrases. So I find all the words meaning like room, space, facility, and find their more general callings as function list. Then I find 5 adjective words can describe the items in the function list, which are the SR list. And I find 5 antonyms of each items to enlarge the dataset and delete the duplicate data and the null data. By analyzing the sample CSV files, I found that the ownership vector is related to the occupation. For example, staff list, coach office. Then I find a occupation dataset from GitHub and use entity recognition in natural language process field to quickly find all the entity of occupations. Then I append them into a list as our ownership list. Now let's see how the prototype works. You can choose multi-files into the system and the program will return new CSV files which contain 5 vectors as our expect. So the workflow of the program should be first upload the Revit files. Instead of import CSV file straight away, extract the CSV file from the Revit file. Then import the data we need and clean the direction words, useless description words, and the null item in the dataset. By analyzing the original files from the Revit, there's a colon department, which is describe the sector of each room, so I matched it with the names of each BIM object and append them as our sector list. Then I detected each part of names of BIM object in the list we create from the pre-production stage and return 4 result vector information into result library. Another location information for now is just detecting the words external, internal, and shortcut of them to judge the location condition. However, it is too limited. I'm now trying to use floor plan to identify each room is external or internal, but it is way too complicated, but it is possible to do that. I will talk to Andrew later to check whether the location information is important enough to do the work like this. The result I showed here is extract from the prototype result. As you can see, female officials wet area. The location information for now is null. Sector is amenities. Size and relationship is female. Ownership is officials and the function is wet area. There's some possible technology I have tried. First is named entity recognition. The concept of it is to use walk-to-vector to calculate the relationship between the entity and the words before the entity. By training the model with a large dataset, an ER model can be built. Since it is finding the word vectors relationship between entity and the words before, it needs a context to do this work. Without context, the accuracy is pretty low. It's about 1 to 2%. Second is identify the part of speech of phrases and based on the different part, use different strategy. However, the accuracy of tagging each word is low. The result is not like what we expect. For example, a lot of name is using noun as attributives, which is hard to classify correctly. For the future process, I will first merge same meaning tags for example, love and the toilet in this week and next week. Secondly, I will train more dataset into entity linking model to identify the sectors of each item if there's no department description colon in Revit. Then I will find a standard to test the accuracy of existing system and increase the accuracy. And then I will build a user interface to do all the stuff instead just codes. And actually I have tried to package them into a exe file, and there's still some issues, but I will figure out before week 9. Fifth, I will figure out the link between the names and their location without just finding the words internal and external to identify the location. Lastly, if the time is enough, I will try to pack the program as a Revit plugin as a natural language process engine for search BIM objects.